All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Carlos Antillano. Carlos, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you. The pleasure for being.
Well, I'll tell you, after our last conversation, I've been really looking forward to doing this interview with you today, Carlos. And I want to start off by giving a shout out to Katrina and really the whole team over at Broadcast Your Authority. I mean, Katrina is the one who like usually reaches out to me and will be, she'll send me emails and say, Kevin, I think so and so would be a really great guest for the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And here's some information on them. And why don't you check it out and let me know what you think? And we've been doing this for, I don't know, a couple of years now. And they have sent me some really amazing guests for this podcast, Carlos. And so now every time I get an email from Katrina, it's kind of like Christmas time. I'm like, I don't know what's going to be in there, but it's going to be really good, And so, and uh, and you and I got to connect and have a conversation and get to know each other a little bit already. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, Katrina's right. Carlos is going to be a great person to interview. And so I've been looking forward to this ever since we got it on the calendar, Carlos. And so what I'll do is I'll just start off really simple, easy question to get us going. What do you do, Carlos, and who do you serve?
Yeah. Actually, I'm working on a luxury cookware company. I'm actually vice president from Las Americas.
Okay.
I oversee the business from Chile to Canada. But I'm also an entrepreneur myself, and I'm also an author of a book. I'm a scuba diver. It's not only what I do for a living, but also what I enjoy doing. So kind of thing. I've been running a few companies as well, e-commerce companies, always in the digital world.
Okay. Okay. So what inspires you most about the work that you get to do and the impact you get to make, Carlos?
Yeah, I think what I like the most is just to learn every day and when you're on the digital world, you have to understand that there is only one way of success. But that's put it this way, well, there are many ways,
Mhm.
but I would say the one of keep learning, keep understanding the market, and I'm passionate about AI tools today. I'm starting to get into heavily into AI tools with that balance of human beings and AI. Another passion of mine is definitely the ocean, boating, scuba diving. I try to mix both a little bit, the most I can, enjoying time with my kids.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the work-wise is definitely the challenge we have every single day nowadays. It's not the same both the when I'm writing today than the when I was writing only 2 years ago, maybe, and then
Okay.
2 years before, maybe 3 years before that. Like those contents challenges
Yeah.
that this kind of position, kind of gives you and gives you that opportunity to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did you even get into doing the kind of work? Because like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman. I never became a fireman. In fact, and of course, as a kid, I would have never imagined that I'd be doing what I do now. And how did you get into this?
I wanted to be a doctor till I saw blood. So
Okay, okay,
then I realized that's not for me. Then I actually I'm coming from Venezuela. I came to the US like 26 years ago, 27 years ago.
okay,
And I was looking actually for an MBA. And on that given moment, I start selling stuff on eBay just out of curiosity, like, okay, let me see. And the thing is start selling. And I was like, this is interesting. So I started educating myself, start, the reading. And there was not much literature those days about the internet. Everything was just an hypothesis. So kind of what we see today with AI, that there is so much information, but so little knowledge,
yeah,
like real knowledge.
yeah,
So it's almost about the same experience the ones I'm living today. It just I was 24 years back on the days. So I start selling on eBay and I cook and I enjoy cooking and I was selling cooking equipment. And
okay,
then suddenly I said, well, a website, why not? contact a few reps, and it was easier than I thought. I remember going to, I started on my bathroom. Seriously, my first shipment arrived to my bathroom. Then I moved to a self-storage, then a small warehouse employees, I guess the American dream back on the
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And I mean, so just kind of figuring it out as you go along,
yeah.
and that was how many years ago? 26, did you
Mm.
say? Or you were
20,
26
20,
when you started?
20, 26 years ago. I'm
Wow.
52 now. So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
26 years ago. Funny thing is, the first company, and this is like a cycle, and I love this part about life. When I started selling, the first cookware company that allowed me to sell was actually the company I'm working with today that I'm leading. So it's
Wow.
like it's a cycle, and I got a scholarship in Harvard, and I supposed to go to Harvard, and I sent a letter like, reserve for me the spot. That never happened. So, but ended up like last year doing a C level in Wharton, so just to close the cycle of, okay, the first cookware line was Mobile, the one I'm leading today. uh, I came to the US to study in Harvard. Well, I got a degree in Wharton. Now I'm doing another one at MIT. So it's like a cycle trying to close all those gaps some way, somehow. And it looks, I mean, sounds interesting in my point of view, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. And I mean, how cool is that? That the first cookware company that you repped for and that you started selling for, all these years later, you're engaged with them on a whole different level now and
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, completely.
And
Completely.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's just it's so interesting because I know in my world, I get to be this connector and conduit of trust for entrepreneurs, and I've been doing what I do for like 22 years. But I feel I'm just now really starting to figure stuff out. And
Same
yeah,
wise here.
yeah,
Same wise. I
yeah,
mean, same, it's exactly same wise.
yeah.
When my employees ask me, for advices, my advice is just always continue studying, don't give
That's
up,
right.
perseverance.
Yeah.
This is what, failures are gonna come,
Yep.
and it's part of life. Is how you are able to navigate through those failures.
Yep.
Failures,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, they are lessons, and that's
That's
the
right.
ability, or you need to try to have that ability to actually convert that or transform that failure into a lesson.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And and it's interesting because I know, like if I look back 22 years, and over time, not only have I become more effective at doing what I do over the 22 years, but the other people in my world, the entrepreneurs that I've known that have relationships going back 20, 25 years, they have become more effective at doing what they do. Maybe they're not even doing what they used to do that many years ago, but they're doing something now and they're really, really good at it. And so the value of me knowing them and them knowing me is way like exponentially more now than it was say 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 or 4 years ago, because we're all growing and we're all learning. Like you said, we never stop learning. It's that continual, just I want to become more and more and more effective at doing what I do. And,
Yeah, most definitely. Most
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So what is the result that you've helped maybe someone get or had through your business that you're just like incredibly proud of, Carlos?
Wow. That's actually a good question. And that I have to say is actually people I have worked with, where I sold a company, two companies, online companies, and one of them was to actually be able to teach that someone, and the business is still there, is still running, and to be able to see that growth from someone that was just with a different mindset, starting something from the scratch, and suddenly now she's an expert on this kind of situations or this kind of actually business line of business, and it happens the same. And I'm super proud of one of my employees that if you she has been working with me 7 years, and there
Okay.
was a meeting that we had with Amazon, and they actually asked her, have you worked before with Amazon? Have you been actually hired by Amazon at some point?
Mhm.
And she told me, no, that's all the teaching I have received from Carlos. And to me, that moment, the moment you have to see this person when she was starting with me, and this person today is a monster. And that I'm super proud of that because she's the kind of person that is extremely intelligent, but on the other side, she's dealing with mental health issues, which I'm super vocal about that. To me, it's not a taboo. To me, mental health and well-being, they need to kind of walk side by side. And I always say, if you have those any kind of those issues, I had them myself. That's one of the reasons actually I wrote the book. Then you have to be open. You have to be transparent and work with that because it's part of who we are. And if you see this person those days and you see this person today, obviously with help too, outside help, not only mine, it's a monster. And she appreciates everything where she has been and where she's located today, not only professionally, but also mentally. And that's to me, it's gold.
Yeah. Wow. What an awesome story. What an awesome. So you've been talking about your book. Tell us about your book. What's the name of your book, and who's going to benefit from getting their hands on it, Carlos?
It's called the Ultimate Perseverance Training
Okay.
or Perseverance Training. Um, this is I think it's more geared to those entrepreneurs that have either that studying or they have gone through failures or so-called failures that are having a hard balance between personal life, and work.
Okay.
Because I think at some point we all have it, and it's a personal story. It's something where I open up, and even my friends, some of them tells me, I don't know how you could talk like that and actually be so open about problems because we have real problems,
Yes.
and we might be extremely successful, or it looks like we are extremely successful, but on the inside we need a coach. We need someone that help us. I mean, I don't think success comes from being alone and being a machine. And I love AI. I love AI. Don't misunderstand me, but to me there is a balance between AI and humans.
Mhm.
I think they will make us better, more efficient, and I think the people are going to suffer are the people that doesn't know how to use AI on their work, basically.
Yeah.
But most definitely, this book is geared towards those people. It shares a ton of personal experiences. My original goal wasn't to sell books; it was just to put my experiences out there, and if I could help someone, just by at least clicking and saying, okay, I'm not alone. This happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. To my surprise, I have sold like, I don't know, a few, like 4,000 books or so. It's been a surprise. I know it's not a big number, but to me it's amazing. That
That's an
wasn't my
awesome
intention.
number, Carlos.
It's
4,000 is
it's
huge. Y-
and but I'm really happy because people are starting to call me to go to speaking gigs about actually uh, mental health, work, uh, balance,
Okay.
or special moments. How did you deal with this? How you were able to function or even to go work when your mind was somewhere else? So it's that kind of things. It's that's the line of the book.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, being a husband, a father to seven children, now grandpa to seven grandkids now, as of where would we see? Our youngest is 2.5 months old now. And so and I'll tell you, having that, being able to be the husband and the father that I want to be, and also and now the grandpa that I want to be as well. while also being the entrepreneur that I want to be, and figuring out how to, navigate that. And I've been focused on that for 22 years. Which, I said no to a lot of opportunity
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, it was the best decision that I ever made, was because I didn't have the desire to build a multi-million-dollar company or anything like that. I did want to make a big impact, but I figured out that it's a combination of a couple of things. It's a combination of me becoming really effective at doing what I do, coupled with who I choose to serve. Because
Yeah.
that's, I mean, if we serve people who are already making a big impact and they want to make a bigger impact, and they have resources and they're resourceful, and they are all, they place a high value on relationships the same way I do. All those things are present. Well, man, I mean, one little thing could be a big deal
A
to
big one for
right now,
another one.
you know.
Yes,
And so,
I
and
agree.
I have figured that out, and I'm like, oh, that's who I want to be of service to. And so,
Yeah, because we all been there. I mean, we have been on this side, but we also have been on the other side.
yeah.
We have, I mean, I have asked for help, maybe silently or maybe vocal,
Uh-huh.
the same way people has asked help for me. It's a cycle. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
cycle at the end
Yes.
of the day. I mean, you just need to be open.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, okay, so now that we've got a little bit of context set here, I want to switch gears just a little bit. And I want to start talking about the relationship side of this and how that has played into all of this for you. So, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or person? And Carlos, I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah, I would say I have a few, but I
Okay.
would say uh, my scuba diving instructor, his name is Tony Posimato. I don't know
Okay.
where he is today. But back on the days we're talking about, if I've been here 26, maybe 35 years ago,
Okay.
he introduced me to scuba diving. And I started just open water, then went rescue, and went deep diving, cave diving. Today I'm a dive master. Scuba diving gave me a structure, gave me leadership, gave me to be able to defeat those insecurities that are normal. Till the day I have it. But sometimes I remember when I was in a cave or on an extreme situation, or even just not extreme, just as simple as the first time I dove, it's a complete new environment. And then when you go to the next step, which is to help people, to identify when people is stressed, to identify body language,
Okay.
to understand when people need help. So that's an incredible tool that not only helps you as a human being, but also then as a leader of your own employees or your own company, or even yourself. So to me, meeting him changed my life because I
Wow.
don't know if I wouldn't be able to to do what I do today the way I do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
was a, I was a different person. I was a different person. So I
Wow.
would say him, most definitely him.
Okay.
Um, then business wise, and this is the funny thing about life, and like you continue growing when you think, okay, I'm now at this position, and then my boss today, she's a chairman. She's the owner of Mobile. It's the seventh generation. It's a company since 1830. So I have learned so much from her, meaning it opened my mind on a total different context because I was a digital person. Still am a digital person, but the relationship with people, unless I'm helping someone, unless there is something related to me, okay. But she showed me the value of actually um, having empathy with other people,
Okay.
especially customers. That to me, that was like a gray area. I was a digital person. I'm a scuba
Mhm.
diver, so you can figure out. It's, a scuba diver, you do it with one person, and when you work digitally, you can do everything, online,
Yeah.
hybrid. You don't need people, around you.
Yeah.
On my position today, I deal with chefs, so it's like dealing with artists. I deal with retailers and things like that. I never thought I could actually handle that. But she told me, I trust you, and you can. I said, I don't know. I should just keep doing my digital thing. I can do the whole entire company, But she somehow, some way saw something I didn't see.
Hmm.
And today I'm actually respected on my industry, and one of those people that actually understand a customer thought. I'm already talking to a chef, and I know what she or he wants. And
Hmm.
the past, that wouldn't be. I mean, and that thing you only learn it from someone, because again, it's not in the books. It's not written anywhere. It's just experiences from someone.
So it just comes from having conversations with people and talking with them about their world and what the stuff that they deal with and the challenges they have and what have you.
And it's funny because every chef is different, every cooking environment is different,
Yeah.
every material is different, every need is different. So you just need to kind of open your mind and just sit and understand and picture yourself on that environment. And to me, that was not easy. It's easy to say. It's easy to say, I'm gonna be on your feet, and I'm gonna put me in your, but everyone says that. But really, the distance between saying that and doing it is quite long.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is one of, give us an example. You don't have to name names or anything, but what's an example of kind of a conversation that you had with someone in your world where you were just like, oh my gosh, wow, I had no idea
Uh,
that all that was going. What's an example of something like that,
yeah,
Carlos?
actually, two examples. One is a retailer, very, very famous in the US, William Sonoma. So I
Okay,
remember the first time I was with Valerie, that's the name of my boss, the chairman of Mobile. She's been handling Williams Sonoma for I don't know how many years.
okay,
And my first meeting, I remember I was at Williams Sonoma. I used to go and buy this 15 years, 20 years ago. I used to go 20. I used to go and buy used things from Williams Sonoma, close out today and sell it on eBay. I mean, I'm
okay.
talking about that's the kind of, and then suddenly, and then in that table with extremely intelligent people, because Williams Sonoma people are extremely intelligent. And then there's my boss, and I'm there on that, and I'm just listening. That first meeting, I was just listening, taking notes. It was even like, wow, a wow moment. Just 3 weeks before, we were on the same table. We go there every year. So we were at the same table, and suddenly it was Valerie, my boss, and I just leading the meeting, and everything was so easy. So, and this is one of our most important customers, not only for us, also for the industry. So it's how you can grow only in 3 years and being extremely shy, just listening, just even with a wow moment, and then suddenly you're leading that with, you know,
Yeah.
with your boss, and that's interesting. That's incredible. The other one was with a meeting. I had two meetings. One was with Amazon. And we started a beta program that like 4 years ago called Buy with Prime, where people that have some Amazon accounts, they can buy in your own website, pay with Amazon.
Yep.
That that sounds pretty simple today.
Mhm.
Sounds simple. Well, there was so much development there, and they Amazon actually have a really good relationship with some business managers and engineers from Amazon.
Okay.
So we were starting working with them through results through on our own websites and try to understand how the behavior was. That gave us so much insight, so much data, so many things happening, so much development only for one thing to happen. And I was just part of a beta program. I wasn't the engineer. The engineer were the Amazon people. I ended up being a beautiful product today that we use, and I know thousands of stores use it. that was another one of those projects that you say, oh wow, that require a lot of expertise
Yeah.
and again, learning. And the last one, and this was incredible. When I arrived to the US, I always said, I want to go to this restaurant, but like like you said, I want to go to the moon. What I would say, I
Hmm.
want to, because I know a lot of people can actually go to the moon today, but but
Yeah.
so I would say, I want to go to the moon. So those days, you say, I want to go to this restaurant. Well, thank you, due to this job, I not only go to those restaurants, I sit with a chef, executive chef. We plan for them. I do things for them. I develop new products for them.
Hmm.
I understand how those restaurants are built. And back of the day was only a desire, and I had the opportunity because of living off this world to take my kid to a Michelin star kitchen and just sit with a chef, with Sebastian Bra, and sit there in France and just having a good meal after he closed the restaurant and he stayed with us for I don't know how many hours. And that was an experience.
Wow.
Same thing with the people from when Daniel Boulou and their Fabricio and Jean-Francois, all those people that are incredible chefs. Like you have, and they have these incredible ideas, and suddenly you are part of that. And that it's
Wow.
a, it's almost a dream come true.
Yeah. Yeah. And and what a testament right there to the power of right relationships and just the doors and the opportunities that that opens that would not be possible at all if not for the relationships that you've created and stuff,
Yeah, most often,
And
most often.
and just being of service to people, of just listening so that
Yeah.
you can try to find out, well, what are they sharing here that I might be able to help with here. And and like you said, the whole prime thing, sounds simple. Well, yeah, but you know what, there's a whole lot that went into that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and and there's a whole lot of smart people that when they catch a vision for something, that they get to bring their gifts and abilities to the table to help make that vision a reality and stuff. And the and like you said, all the stuff that goes into making that a reality, that people just like today, we don't even think twice about it. We're just like,
It's granted. It's
yeah,
granted.
yeah, it's just, and like what we can do with this, it's mind blowing, and it's just phenomenal.
A friend of mine told me a few days ago, people doesn't have any idea that we have an atomic bomb right here.
Yeah,
Like this is so much power. We didn't 20 years ago, we could have even we just make a phone call. Yeah. And now it's an atomic bomb. Yeah,
yeah,
basically, what you have right there, a nuclear bomb, in
yeah,
your hands.
yeah,
And I call it the and this thing is a critical subject for everyone, which is the power of listening.
yeah.
To me is the power of being able to listen.
Yes,
That
yeah.
gives you so much power, so
Oh,
much
it's
power.
phenomenal. I mean, I discovered that years ago. I mean, I'm this naturally curious guy who just loves talking with entrepreneurs. I love hearing what they're up to. I love hearing what they're working on, what's got them jazzed, what's got them excited, what challenges they're dealing with, what problems they're up against, what opportunities they're trying to take advantage of that they may not have all the clarity they need yet. And just listening to them and finding out, well, who do I know that might be able to help them with what they're telling me about and stuff, and just being that connector, that conduit of trust, that now it's like, oh, well, I bring this person in on this, and how would that speed up this process, and
Exactly,
and
exactly,
uh and yeah, but
exactly.
it's that whole listening thing that that most people are not very good at. They're not very good at the listening thing. They want to just talk. And
And
so,
jump.
yes, and talk about, here's what I do, here's why you should do business with us, whatever, versus listening and finding out like, oh, you got a real challenge that you're dealing with right there. What if I was to connect you with this person who they do this and this and this?
Mm,
Would that be
mm,
valuable to you maybe? And oh yeah, Kev, I'd love to talk with them, you know. and but yeah, it all comes from listening and just giving that people that gift of feeling seen, heard, and understood because
yeah.
we listen to them and stuff. It is so, so powerful. So, well, I'll tell you, for anyone that might be listening to this, Carlos, and thinking, "Man, Kev, I really love Carlos. I mean, I love who he is. I love how he shows up. I'm really curious about what he does. I'd like to find out more about him and the
Mhm.
work they're doing. Any websites, any resources we can share with folks, Carlos?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you want to know what I do is Mobile, the mobile-usa.com. Most
Okay.
definitely that's part of the website. But my LinkedIn, I think it talks much more about me because on that one yeah, when I do my scuba diving is there. My, I guess the book is definitely who I am. I mean, if you
Uh-huh.
really want to know me, it's the book. I mean, but you're gonna know this this raw, part of me, put it this way, because the one you meet in meetings and the one you meet in podcasts or the one you be on a table at anywhere, it's a different, not put it this way, different person. It's not that one that, is showing up like, all the skiing out, So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, is there any last thing that you feel led to share, Carlos, before we call it a wrap?
You know what? I think it would be unfair if I don't mention my grandma,
Okay.
because she is the ultimate perseverance training. And if no one was perseverant was my grandma. My grandma was on a wheelchair since 22 years old when she was 22 years because of a car accident. And it's incredible the amount of energy she had, everything she showed me, the don't give up concept, but no, don't give up with no reason. Don't give up because there's something else that needs to be done before
Hmm.
you give up. So those kind of messages, those kind of um, that line of thought is coming from her, most definitely.
Yeah.
Then it obviously was polished throughout the years by knowing people, meeting people, scuba diving, work. Even with people like you, for example, I mean, just this half an hour, 40 minutes, it's extremely rich. I mean, it's incredible just being able to share this moment. But it wouldn't be fair if I wouldn't mention her. I know it's kind of family and it's not,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but it's someone that extremely important. Oh, it's my parents, yes, but my grandma to me has like a special place. My family, obviously, my wife, my kids. Well, I wouldn't be anyone without them. But really, my grandma.
Yeah. Yeah. And that whole thing of just don't give up. We as long as we don't quit, as long as we don't give up, we can't lose because the we it's never over. It's
It's never
never
over.
over.
It's
And
never over.
and we just keep moving forward and we keep figuring things out. We keep making discoveries. We keep having conversations. We get to a point where like we start figuring out the nuanced stuff, just the little stuff that like, oh, that swings a big door right there, kind of a thing. And like, I think about this podcast. I mean, we launched this podcast. It's been a little over 4 years now, 4 years and 1 month. And I was down in San Diego having lunch with a good friend of mine. And he's an entrepreneur. And he was telling me how, Kevin, you should really think about hosting a podcast. And I'm like, podcast? I'm like, Carlos, nothing was further from my mind. I wasn't even on my radar anywhere. And I'm like, Brad, why do you say I should host a podcast? And he's like, well, Kev, you love talking with entrepreneurs. And so you would do it just because you love doing it. And candidly, you won't mess it up trying to figure out how to monetize it like so many people do. You're just going to do it because you love doing it. You just enjoy doing it. And yet you will monetize it and it'll happen completely organically for you, just like it has for me. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I hear you. But man, the last thing the business world needs, Brad, is another Me Too podcast. How would I even separate this thing apart? And he's like, Kev, you are going to talk with entrepreneurs about their most valuable relationships. And I was like, oh man, that sounds awesome.
That's power. That's
And
powerful.
uh, and it has been an absolute game changer. I mean, we're like almost 400 episodes in now. Hosting this podcast has been the most rewarding and impactful thing that I have done in my entire entrepreneurial career. And it
Mhm.
just keeps putting me in touch with amazing entrepreneurs that I would have never had the opportunity to meet if not for hosting this podcast. It
That's
expands
amazing.
my network. It allows me to just make more connections and have more conversations with people on a regular basis where I just get to find out about them and what they do and how can I use my gifts and abilities to help them and also just kind of bring them into my world and just be of service to them, you know. And it's just been an amazing thing and just and I'm so grateful to Brad for even suggesting it. And but you know what? He knew me. He knew what hosting he hosts a podcast called Bacon Wrapped Business,
Mm.
and he knew what the experience would be like and stuff. And it's just and it's just figuring that stuff out that is just in such alignment for us where we get to just spend our time doing what we love and interacting with the kind of people we love interacting with and it just creates that doorway for us to be able to do more of that, you know.
Couldn't
And
agree more. I
so,
couldn't agree more.
well, Carlos, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, and I am excited to get this out there and share it with a lot of folks. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, Carlos.
Thank you so much.